Hello everyone. This is a video about professional networking for young professionals and students. Before getting started with the main part of this course, I would like to propose a very short exercise. Here is what you're going to do. You're going to take a piece of paper, a pen, write down what comes to your mind when you think about professional networking, and then write down what is easy, comfortable for you when you think and act in professional networking, and what is more difficult, what makes you uncomfortable. Okay? And then we come back. So you pause this video for 2 minutes and then we go on. Okay? So now that you're back, I'm very happy and thank you for making this exercise because it's super helpful for you and for me. What I observe when I do this kind of exercise in my class with my students, I observe that there's a lot of emotion, right? So we have a lot of emotion around professional networking. It's a bit scary, there's fear, there's uncertainty. We don't know how people will react when we ask something. We don't know, so it's quite uncomfortable on one hand. And on the other hand, there's a lot of excitement, of interest, of curiosity for things that we don't know. So this is great, and this is exactly it. Professional networking is a little bit scary on one hand and super exciting on the other side, and a source of innovation and creativity. So we are going to work together in 2 videos to try to understand better the mechanism and how you can make it more comfortable for you. That's the program. So let's get started. We start in the 70s. In the 70s, that's the beginning of the idea, the concept of professional networking. And there's an American psychologist, Stanley Milgram, who is publishing research in the 70s in the region of Boston. And the main finding is that 80% of the job seekers that are participating to this research found a job through someone they knew. So we are in the 70s, and already the personal connection is super helpful to find a job. Okay? So that's a very important point that we need to remember, and we will come back to that. And this researcher, Stanley Milgram, is as well very famous for having demonstrated that every American individual is linked to any other one by a maximum of 6 bridges, 6 relationships. Okay? So they are not directly connected, but they have a connection that knows a connection that knows a connection 6 times to another person. So it's interesting as well that in the 70s, imagine just way before internet and the social networks, etc., it was already quite close, in fact. There's one other researcher that is super important in the history of network, of professional networks. His name is Mark Granovetter. And in 1973, he's publishing a seminal work that is called The Strengths of Weak Ties. And what does he demonstrate? He demonstrates, first of all, that there are strong ties in our network, so people that we are quite close to. Okay? Usually we call that the first circle around us. Okay? And then there's the weak tie. The weak tie is someone that you might have heard of or maybe met maybe once, but this person is connected to someone that is strongly connected to you. And this weak tie is the one that will bring a lot of new things in your life, new things in your connection. So the weak tie is super important. And the second important point of this research is that Granovetter is demonstrating that the intensity and the quality of the relationship in a network is depending on 5 points. First, the emotional intensity, so the capacity to exchange emotions together. The second is intimacy, the capacity to share intimate, personal, private things together. The third is the time spent together. The more we spend time together, the more we know each other. We know that by experience, right? Fourth is the reciprocal services that are exchanged. So the idea of being in a win-win relationship where we help each other in the two directions. And finally, what we call multiplexity, which is the fact that we are related not only by one bridge, but by different bridges. For instance, we belong to 2 or 3 different communities. We are cousins, so we belong to the family. We go to the same church, we are in the same church group, and we play basketball together. So this creates 3 different communities that bring us together and that help us be quite strongly tied in our network. Okay? So, if we make a tentative definition of professional networking, if you spend a lot of time reading academic research around professional networking and social networks, you will see that the definitions are not so clear. So that's why I call it a tentative definition. We would say that it's a transactional activity that with a set of goal-oriented behaviors, so we have something in mind when we network, with 3 main actions or steps: creating, initiating the connection, maintaining the relationship, and leveraging the contact, so using it in a way. And the goal is to obtain a job, information, maybe a promotion if it's internal in the company, to facilitate our work, to find a partner, a supplier, someone to work with, or to recruit, for instance. So there's a goal behind, and the results can be quite wide. In fact, it's not only about finding a job. But what we need to remember is that all of that is based on human-to-human relationship, meaning that whatever the social networks, or at this stage at least today, in 2020, internet cannot replace the real interaction between people in our process to know each other and to build a relationship that will be fruitful. Okay? So sometimes we talk as well about a loosely organized net of informal, cooperative relationship with the goal of maximizing common interest. Clear? Great. It's a moment as well that I take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about social capital. Social capital is something that is very important and that is individual. Each of us has a social capital. And from a professional perspective, it's quite important. Why? Because the social capital is the actual and potential social network that you can mobilize when needed. Okay? And it's usually built on mutual trust and mutual recognition. Yeah? So it's appropriable, so it's linked to you, and you can leverage it. Okay? You can imagine some professions where an excellent network becomes a real social capital, has a very strong value. For instance, for people that work in public relations, for instance, or people that are involved in celebrity business, for instance. So communication jobs will very often need a very strong social capital, not only. So it's time for you as young professionals and students to start building your social capital. That's what we are going to do together. So here I would like to pause again a few minutes and to ask you to visualize your network. So you push the button break, pause, and you take 5 minutes and you try to draw your network, be it professional or not. Try to draw. So it's not the moment to write the name of every people you know, every person you know. But it's more the moment to say, okay, I'm in this community, I'm linked to this community through this person, blah, blah, blah. So I let you work on your visualization of your network and then you come back. Okay? So, welcome back. Now that you have done this, you most probably have seen that you are in a multiplicity of networks. Usually what I do with my students is I ask them to share together by small groups, to share together the visualizations they have built of their network. And they realize that we have a lot of connections, in fact. We are connecting with our family, with our friends, with by a weak tie, with the parents of our friends that sometimes are super helpful, with the neighborhood, with schoolmates, with our Instagram community, for instance, our LinkedIn community, with our sport groups, with the colleagues, with some people in the company we work with that are not colleagues, with former colleagues from internships, etc. So many different communities where we can find connections and start building our network. So I'm going to stop here for today for this video, and I will open a new video that is called Network Part 2. So see you later in this next video.